John here from NoJokeNHL, here with tonight's preview videos for games to be played Wednesday. We have 2 Game 4s in the Eastern Conference and 2 Game 5s, critical Game 5s, as both series there. 2-2 going into a Game 5. So definitely the tone going to be set tonight one way or another in those 2 series. And then, like I said, we have the 2 Game 4s. So let's jump right in with the first game on the card, and that'd be 25-26, Boston Bruins at the Toronto Maple Leafs. Boston able to get the 5-2 victory the other night after the Leafs tied it up on Boston ice, and everything was 1-1. Now it's 2-1 Boston, and Boston is back as a -135 favorite, come back +115 on Toronto. And I still have a series play on Toronto. I have not bought back in on Toronto to try to get some longer odds. This series could go either way, looking maybe like Boston might be able to take care of business. But the back and forth style in this series, I'll be honest with you, tonight's card very tight price wise. I'm not really that crazy about it one way or another. I mean, I have series plays on 3 of these games tonight, and to be honest with you, most of my action is going to be just basically watching, with interest on those plays. I don't really want to, drain units or, one way or another if I make a wrong move here, and I'm certainly not in any position to hedge on any one of them. But in this Boston game, Toronto, like I said, Boston a -135 favorite. They win 5-2. Toronto wins 4-2. Boston wins 4-1. Are you seeing a pattern here? I am. It seems like these teams play like a free skating offense and defense, and are allowing goals to be scored. Not necessarily guaranteed over every time, but the over has been a solid play in this series. So 2 plays I would be looking at in here: over 5.5 +130 offers a little value there on the over. Way better than over 5 at -145. I'd rather just take the chance and get the plus money on over 5.5. And like I said, with that 6th goal, both of those bets cash. So if you want the safety of the 5, then go ahead and risk a unit and a half for that safety, but to me that's not a good move. And the other thing I think I'm doing that I started doing this year, and that is the reverse puck line. And so with both these both these squads winning handily when they won, I'm going to take a chance on the reverse puck line here. Boston at -1.5 +220, come back on Toronto at -1.5 +318. So I mean, if you want to go 50-50 on each side, to be honest with you, I'm just going to play them as they are, basically 1 unit each or half unit each, basically same price for both. And like I said, if Toronto wins and gets the puck line cover, then we make out a little better than if Boston does. But if Boston comes out, we still profit at 1.2 units for that. And then of course the only way we lose is if the game ends in a 1-goal game or if the game goes to overtime. So that's a play I'm on there. I'm going to do the reverse puck line, -1.5 +220. And -1.5 +318 on Boston and Toronto, and actually I'll just count it as a full unit each way. I mean, basically, to be honest with you, these plays really I kind of categorized this year under reverse puck line plays and just counted the profit, because basically you're making a losing bet and a winning bet. So keeping track of the win-loss between there, I mean, you're either going to go 0-2 or 1-1 and win. So rather than do that, and basically what the equivalent is here is you're basically down at the bottom they have the stat Boston, Toronto, no overtime, -340. And so basically what, in essence, that's kind of what you're playing here, no overtime. Of course, it could still end in a 1-goal game, 3-2 in regulation. But, so in essence, you're just kind of, paying like maybe -120 that the game doesn't end in a 1-goal game. And it's kind of a 50-50 proposition over the long haul. But like I said, we see a little pattern here, so that's what we're jumping on with that. Next game on the card, Washington Capitals at the New York Rangers. Of course, Capitals holding on to a 2-1 lead after the Rangers were able to get one on home ice, scoring 4 goals for, they only scored 1 in 2 games in D.C. and were able to put 4 on the board the other night. One of those goals was a power play goal, the rest at even strength, but the Capitals took a lot of silly penalties, played a lot of time man down, so they didn't give up many power play goals, only 1, but that was the difference in the game, by the way. But when you're playing man down, obviously you're not attacking and you're not doing things well. And the Capitals statistically showed that they were doing things well there. And so the money is coming in on the Capitals today. They opened up at a +120 dog, now down to +110. Price is a little short for in New York City for this. And like I said, I have a lot of interest in the Capitals, not only for the series, but to win this in 5 games. And in 6 as well, but the 5, I'd definitely like to see that payouts a little better for that. And so I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and cheer for the Caps here tonight. Like I said, they're getting the love money wise so far today, but like I said, it's a little short for me to jump in. And like I said, I have enough interest in the series plays, so that's what I'm going to ride out for now. Los Angeles Kings at the St. Louis Blues, game 29 and 30. And the Kings a plus 110 dog on St. Louis ice. The Blues, this opened up at minus 120 and a pick'em, or minus 125, minus 105 for the Kings, or plus 105 for the Kings, excuse me. And so the like I said, series tied 2-2. A lot of people think the Kings turned the corner the other night by the way they won in a must-win situation, needing a 2-goal third period at a 2-0 third period, to outscore the opposition by 2 to win the game, and they were able to do that. And so a lot of people thinking that the Kings are coming to play. The series price is basically a pick 'em, right back to the same price that it was in the very beginning, and why not? Best of 3 here for this title. Like I said, I'm tied up in the Blues on the series, and I'm also tied up in Blues in 6 games and or 7, and so I think I'm going to, again, let my series play right there. I don't necessarily want to buy off. I still like the things that the Blues have been doing, even though they didn't get the win or a win in Los Angeles. They certainly had plenty of chances and were in every game. Of course, 3-2 in the third period, so certainly not getting run out of this series at all. So I'm going to stick with the Blues and their series prices, but no individual play for me tonight. Final game on the card, the Detroit Red Wings going to Anaheim for Game 5 of their series, and the Red Wings really peppered the Ducks offensively the other night. Hiller basically standing on his head, but just couldn't get it done in overtime, 3-2. And the Ducks held a late, 2-1 lead late into that game to have Detroit tie it up and then force the overtime there. Red Wings plus 120 tonight. Ducks minus 140 on Anaheim ice. The puck line minus 1.5, plus 220 for the Ducks. On the Red Wings plus 345. And again, I have a Ducks series play here. I'm not really sure what to make of this. I really don't like the Red Wings. They did play rather well in Game 4 there, but I'm just going to let my Ducks series play ride out. Like I said, these lines tonight to me are very, very tight, and like I said, with all the interest I have in the series plays, don't really want to get down too many units here to where it could screw up, a decent payout if I just ride it out. So that's going to be my plan for tonight. So for the series, Capitals a minus 230 favorite. Come back on the Rangers at plus 190. You can get them on the reduced menu at plus 200. So I thought a little bit about maybe buying a little bit off, at the Rangers at 2-1 in a decent spot at home to even the series. And of course, this would go back to almost a pick 'em if that happened. So could be an advantageous move. I probably will not do it. I think I'm going to ride the Capitals. Like I said, I think they've played well enough to win every one of these games, even though they lost the other night. Looking early to tomorrow, we have the Montreal Canadiens minus 130 favorite on Canadian ice, plus 110 on the Senators, and of course we're probably going to see Peter Budaj in net there. Dan Bleasman from the Penguins has already announced that Vukun is going to be getting the start there. Minus 215 on the Penguins for them, and like I said, the over-under set at 6, minus 110 both ways. Kind of hoping the money comes in on the over there, and why shouldn't it? I mean, we've had a flurry of overs after Game 1, a 5-0 shutout, just under the total there, and that's only because the Islanders couldn't get on the board, and but the rest of these games just flown over. But I think with Vukun there, and I think the desperation mode for Pittsburgh, I think at some point they have to tighten it up and play defense, right? If they're a cup contender, so I'm kind of going to go against. Like I said, I hope the public's just looking at the scoreboard from the last week and run into the window with their money. Unfortunately, this isn't NFL, it's NHL, and so it's mostly sharp money, I guess. But hoping to get the under 5.5 at a really, really nice price. Hopefully in the neighborhood of like plus 175 or 200. Wild, of course, at the Blackhawks. Blackhawks prohibitive minus 275 favorite, and they should finish that off tomorrow. The puck line for them minus 1.5, plus 105, a ridiculous return. So definitely keep that one off of your card tomorrow. As far as first period action tonight, a little bit of action. I would kind of lean towards over 1.5 plus 110. I think I'm going to be on that. Matter of fact, I will go on that. People are confused whether I actually make a play or not. I'm going to be on that over 1.5 plus 110. It should certainly help the status of my reverse puck line play there. And the rest of the things I'm just going to lay off for the rest of this evening. So playing a little close to the vest. Like I said, if you followed along and jumped on the series plays, then you know what I'm talking about. And if not, sorry, jump on the reverse puck line, or maybe take that over in Toronto, and hope for the best there. But that brings us to the end of the report. So let's drop the puck, and as always, let's make some money.